We're continuing our 360 special report, Kids on Race, The Hidden Picture. Its aim is to study children's attitudes on race and understand how and why they form their opinions. We teamed up with renowned child psychologist Dr. Melanie Killen to try to design this study. Now take a look at this. Killen and her team showed 13-year-old children this picture and asked them to describe what was happening. Questions like, what's happening here? Are these children friends? And would their parents want them to be friends? Now, the picture is designed to be ambiguous. What's happening is in the eye of the beholder. Then they showed them this picture and asked the same questions. Now, the only difference between the two pictures, the race of the kids was flipped. Both white and African-American children were tested, and the psychologist showed a similar set of pictures to 6-year-olds. At our request, they also asked kids open-ended questions about race to understand how it plays into their own lives. And as you'll see, the responses were raw. Some of the experiences they describe are shocking. In our first report, we told you that when testing 6-year-olds, the research showed an overwhelming majority of white kids were negative about interracial friendships. The majority of black children, on the other hand, were positive. But we discovered a lot changes from childhood to adolescence. Take a look. The study found when 6-year-old African-American children were asked about interracial friendships, the majority responded like this.
Carrie was trying to help her.
And how much would they like it if the two were friends?
Really like it.
But watch how they respond by age 13.
Carrie, she's a bully, so she pushed Abby.
Do you think that Chris and Alex are friends?
No, not really.
The optimism we heard from young black children fades with age. At age 6, 59% of black children think the two kids in the picture are friends. By 13, a total flip. 63% do not think they're friends, which matches white teens' attitudes. Our expert says experiences like 13-year-old Jimmy's of rejection begin to explain the disappointing trend. He says a white friend's mom forbade her son to be friends with him.
They end up to say because you're black, so you can't hang out. Her and her son.
Oh, so she kind of very openly said that the reason why her son could not hang out with you and your family was because you guys are black.
Yep.
Because of their skin.
Dante was bullied so badly because of his race, he had to change schools.
I've been bullied for like the way I looked and the way of my skin at my previous school that I went to. And they just kept on bullying me, and I didn't like it. I just asked them to stop like over and over again. And then I tried not to break, but I couldn't hold on anymore. So I asked my mom, can I leave?
Peer interactions are a way to understand.
Our expert, Dr. Killen, says the decline happens because they've been given a sobering reality check on race.
They're getting a lot of negative feedback through elementary school and adolescence. And I think if you have that kind of experience and you have it repeatedly over a number of years, your optimism is going to decline because you've been told, you really don't belong here, you're really not part of us.
Dr. Killen also says anxiety about interracial dating from both black and white parents can have a profound effect on how their kids view friendships.
Parents of young children do often send messages about we can all be friends with everybody. They do send the positive messages. But by adolescence, they start getting more nervous about this, and they start thinking, well, you should be friends with people like you or like us. How are you?
Which doll is the black doll? And which one is the white doll?
That one.
Which doll is the pretty doll? Which doll is the nice doll? Which doll is the bad doll? Which doll is the nice doll? And which doll is the bad doll? And why is that doll pretty?
Because she's white and he has 2 eyes.
Which doll is the ugly doll? Why is that doll ugly?
Because he's black.
Which doll looks most like you?
Like me?
Yeah, which one looks like you?
And that one.
Okay.
That doll. Can you
show me the doll that you like best or that you'd like to play with?
This one. I like that one.
Okay.
This one.
That one?
I like to play with this.
And can you show me the doll that is the nice doll? And why is that the nice doll?
He's white.
And can you show me the doll that looks bad? Okay. And can you give, and why does that look bad?
Because it's black.
Michaela is a 7th grader at a majority white middle school. Her responses completely change depending on the race of the children in the picture.
Marcy and Renee are in school together and they're in the hallway, and I'd like you to tell me what you think is happening in this picture.
She probably looks like she's gonna steal it because Marcia's like, oh no, what happened? And he's like, hey, look, $20.
And so, do you think that Renee is doing something good, bad, or just neutral?
I think she's gonna take the money.
Do you think that Renee and Marcy are likely to be friends or not?
Not really.
And what do you think about Marcy's parents? Do you think they'd be comfortable with her being friends with Renee or not?
Well, if they find out the situation that happened, they might be a little concerned about if Renee's a thief.
In this one we have Erica and Allison, and they're also in the hallway at school. Can you tell me what it seems is happening in this picture?
Allison looks like a sweet girl, so I think that she would pick up Erica's money and give it back to her.
Okay, so then do you think Allison's doing something good, bad, or neutral?
Pretty good.
And what about Allison and Erica? Do you think they're probably friends or not so much?
Yeah, they're probably friends.
Okay. Do you think Erica's parents would like it if she was friends with Allison?
Yeah.
Her responses, according to our expert, Dr. Melanie Killen, could indicate a subconscious racial bias, a bias that kids develop from messages they hear at school, at home, the characters in the TV shows they watch, and what they see online. And Michaela's reversing the scenarios based on race wasn't unique. 24%, almost a quarter of all children, both white and African American, saw their own race more positively than the other race. And this happened across all ages and all school types, no matter the racial demographics.
What do you think happened in this picture?
The girl pushed her.
And what do you think is going to happen next?
Brandon's gonna help her with her books.
So do you think that Randy's doing something that's okay, not okay, or kind of in the middle?
Not okay.
Not okay? Is Andre doing something good, bad, or just okay?
Good.
Michaela's answers were very much in line with her. Michaela's parents, Jim and Jennifer, agreed to watch their daughter's test and talk about her responses.
Well, if they find out the situation that happened, they might be a little concerned about if Renee's a thief. Allison looks like a sweet girl, so I think that she would pick up Erica's money and give it back to her.
When you see that, what goes through your mind? I mean, is there a conversation you want to have with her? Is there stuff you want to know more about?
I would definitely want to pursue that conversation with her and find out why her perception was different based upon the color of the girl's skin. What changed in that scenario in her head?
It's a teachable moment. It's a it's a realization like, well, maybe we have to do a better job or focus more on distinguishing like about racism and the diversity, and just influence our kids and let them know that you have to judge a person by their character, not their skin color.
And it's this possible subconscious racial bias versus explicit bias, actually consciously thinking and verbalizing racism, that our expert says shows how far we need to go, but also how far we've come.
They're not friends, okay.
Explicit racism and prejudice has diminished dramatically over 50 years. But what remains is more the implicit biases and the implicit forms of racism and prejudice. And those are the things that we're not aware of, the things that we do when we don't realize it, because it seems that it's these implicit biases that are still what we really have to work on.
I'm Soledad.
Soledad O'Brien asked some kids about the issue after it came up during their tests.
Do you think your parents would be fine if you decided to start dating a black girl, brought her home?
Honestly, my parents probably wouldn't be too happy because if I was to marry a black girl, you're connected to their family now, and who knows what her family is really like.
So they probably wouldn't be that excited about it.
Probably not.
Shantae admitted anxiety and a double standard for interracial dating in her family.
If I were to date a white guy, a lot of people wouldn't really have a problem with that. But if my brother were to bring home a white girl, you know, there's definitely going to be some controversy.
From whom? Your parents or you?
From me. from me. Really, because I think it's more of a problem for people when a black man brings home a white woman, because it's been like that for years.
So it would matter to you?
I think it would, you know, unless, of course, she were not to act, I guess, so quote unquote white.
What does that mean?
You know, flip my hand, oh my God, you know, ha 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 ha, that is so ghetto. No. No.
There was some good news in our results as well. The racial balance of a school can make a major positive difference on how white kids view race. The study tested kids from majority white, majority black, and racially mixed schools. The difference was remarkable. Students at majority white schools were the most pessimistic about race. Only 47% think their parents would approve of kids from different races being friends. In racially diverse and majority black schools, 71% are positive about it. The reason, according to Dr. Killen, is friendships.
There's almost nothing as powerful as having a friend of a different racial ethnic background to reduce prejudice. You have that experience, it enables you to challenge stereotypes.
So you feel like you're...
Samantha attends a majority black middle school.
My grandparents have a lot of, they're very racist against African Americans and other races, but it's 2012, so they have to push that aside, and they'll be like, no, that's wrong to be, you want to stick with your own race, and I'm like, no, I'm friends with everyone.
Anderson Cooper, CNN.